Base Bunch has made some interesting changes, some very popular changes with the roof pieces in all building on the staging branch update, and this does affect all mini Satori based double half wall roof disconnectables. And if you don't know what that means, this is no longer working on staging branch to sort of break any roof tile with the double half wall roof stability, nor is the triple roof in Dominus Roof Bunker going to be working on staging branch with these changes. And it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. And again, the mini Satori style disconnectables with the double half wall with all the frames on top will no longer be able to just destroy when you place a twig roof. Anything where you place a twig roof is not going to work after the July update. And it's going to be super nice and super easy. We're going to show you a bunch of other disconnectables, or just two main ones, but really just the main good one. And it's going to be super nice and super easy. And one thing is, you can do a bunch of weird stuff with like a direct triplet offset override bunker. I don't know what the foundation one, the frame and the foundation. And you could try and do some weird stuff with that for like a disconnectable with that kind of piece for like a gatehouse. But it's not going to be nice and it's not going to be easy. And we're going to have some super nice, super easy ones to show you. And again, it won't be working with any offset bunker as well. Any bunker where you have to place the twig roof. Any bunker where you have just a normal standard bunker where you need to destroy a piece of twig to open that bunker is going to be working fine. And again, it's going to be super nice and super easy. We'll show you how to do the original disconnectable, which I did modify with the 4 frames up here, just so it kind of reminds you of the old school style. This was like the original, like vice versa disconnectable with the high ramp and the ramp. This one still works fine, just like that. And then you can put your TC in there. And then when you break this twig ramp, the privilege stops right at that ramp right there, and then all of this becomes unprivileged, and you could replace your core TC that would be over here, and that's your compound gate. And the same thing with this one. This is actually the first video on my channel, is one of these style disconnectables, and this one is actually the best one in terms of it could be all armored, the whole connection point and the wall, with just soft side exposed. But it's really not that bad, and the only downside is that if you do this kind of too close, you build your gatehouse out and then put your TC like right here. They could just use the ramp to jump up here and then build like twig over from your gatehouse to like jump on. If you do it too close, it's not good, because then they could just do this and like jump into your compound. But you could just do it really long. You could just build it out like 10 foundations and then build up, and then have these long priv blockers. And then you can do the same normal gatehouse with your Patricos, standard stuff, and have that disconnect point on either a raised foundation intersecting the midpoint of a full wall, or a half wall intersecting the midpoint of a full wall. And that way, when you place the twig on the inside here, it connects the 2 blocks. You don't need privilege to reconnect your whole base. So if they do take one side, you could place the twig without privilege. Remember that. So you could place it while it's orange and reconnect them. And you can't put this same freehand style 1 twig roof opening bunker on the other side, just like a normal, the same one that most people do, just like that. And you can use this, and then you would be able to do the same thing for something like this if you wanted the frames. The frames aren't really that good, because remember, it's just really easy to jump up on your base, especially if you had this current one like how Alone in Tokyo does it, where you just jump up like right there. And yeah, this one's my favorite one right here, because we could just use a disconnectable with this style gatehouse, and then you could have it bunker facing outwards, which is a little bit of a downside, but then you could have a nice turret spot on each one of those. And then you can upgrade all of this connection point here to armored and this stuff to HQM. And you can actually have the whole thing HQM for a full bunker, which unlike the frames one, even on these over here, usually when you go to HQM, you have to do a lot of bunker stuff over here to get it HQM, and then you have to upgrade all of these to HQM. Kind of the same thing. Not that bad. It's pretty easy. We're just going to do whatever gatehouse you would want to do. Let's just start out with a, say we had a 2x1 footprint like this, whatever 2x1 footprint. You know, whatever 2x1 footprint you wanted to do, and say you wanted to add some wide gaps, just like you would right now, currently in the game with the Disconnectable, you would just do your normal wide gap. I don't know what kind of wide gaps to do on the 2x1 right here, but we could just do something like this. Whatever wide gaps you would want to do. And then where you would normally do your Disconnectable, we would do the same thing and just go out a full however many squares it takes until we go red. So we go red to blue. And then you can, no, not in. Yeah, then we can back that up one. And this is where our roof will extend over and go up like this. And this is all supposed to be twig, like we're building out. Like this, build out till it's blue. Like this, till it's blue in the squares. Back the square up one, raise the triangle or put a half wall. We'll do the half wall. Half wall, full wall. Break the previous square before it. Put a roof here. Triangle here, so now we need to soft set 2 foundations to break this roof. And then now when we place this twig piece right here, it'll connect this long twig string to our wide gaps. And then if we want our same bunker style stuff, we're just gonna come over here and put the TC like this. And we could upgrade this. Full wall, half wall over here, because we don't need the midsection connection point on that side. And then you could have put a single door frame here, or something here, double door frame. Just to raise that up to an even height. So this side is 1.5, and we put this twig floor, it'll connect the two. And then when you go like this, you'll just have your same starter external that you'll be able to start with just doors. And then you could freehand the bunker on the other side. And then we could just upgrade all of this. It will look nice at least. And then you'll just be able to do the same like wide gap things. Okay, there. I've never made a double square compound gate, but here's a double square compound gate with patricos. Never made one with patricos. And then we could even go like this and have like chain link there and have fences, high walls sticking out in it like that. And that's just how you would make a wide gap with a Disconnectable right here. And then you can just freehand the square right here. Hard to do in shipping container for me. 79. Other side I got open? It is. And then you would just flip it to a triangle like this. Upgraded to HQM. I got the height horrible because it was just shipping container when I was freehanding. And then you'd be able to do something like this, upgrade it all the way to HQM. The whole thing can be HQM, and then it just soft side the foundation is the only thing. So even on like modded servers, you can do the whole thing HQM. And then you can put a frame right here, and a turret facing back there, and a triangle roof, like that. And then you can have a turret right there. All of this can be HQM or sheet metal. And stone for the turret, and then you can have this sheet metal, and that would be like a big wide gap compound gate on your 2x1 with 2 big tricos over here, and then you can put like a little ramp right here. And then we can go ahead and do one more on this side, same kind of thing. We'll just go ahead and do like a wide gap 1, 2, 3, 4, so we could have a square after it. Break the 4 squares, go into twig for the realism, a single hexagon in a square. Then we're 2 squares right here, break all that. And now we can go do the roof ramp one. So we're just gonna go do the same thing like this. Only Tokyo style, old school. 8. Then we're going to do 4 twig frames. Like that. And then we have one up here that we're going to do a full upgraded square to place our twig low ramp on. Put a window right there. And then behind our 1x1 with our twig low ramp, we're going to do a high twig ramp. Like that. And before we demolish this foundation, because the ramp will break, we're going to upgrade the ramp and put a high triangle after it. It's going to attach to the foundation and not break. Like that. And then the connection point is this twig roof right here. So we can connect this back with frames, just like an old school, like the mini Satori style, but so you don't have anything on the ground near your exit, as opposed to this one has foundations and a trail. This one is up top, overhead, and then you can just either do a regular, like just a TC right on this foundation, because the TC privilege will stop right there. Or again, you could do just 3 half walls like this, and do the same exact backwards facing bunker with the TC. Like that. And just like that, backwards facing 3 triangles. Break this twig one in the middle. Put a foundation here. See if we can get that on the first try. We can't. Put an armored foundation and shipping container. That's a weird one. Nope, way too far in on that armored foundation. 78, perfect. Like that. And then we're just gonna flip it around to a triangle. They're going out hexagon on the side. Breaking everything, the walls stuck to the other walls. Double back with 2 squares. I'm getting crowded in the build server. Upgrade that. And then you just made the external disconnectable just like this. Old school vice versa style. Like that. Which is the 1x1 twig pylon in the ramp. So the disconnectable is still only maximum armored window. Whereas these is you can get it up to just solid 15 rockets or soft siding 2 HQM foundations. It's not too bad. And again, this one is very easy disconnectable. They're both very easy, different benefits. One has got nice foundations if your terrain is decent. And then if your terrain really blows in its cheeks, see how we need the high foundation at the end here? This is great for terrain that goes upwards. Not that good for terrain that goes downwards. Not that good. If the terrain goes downwards, you could always do this same thing and connect them with frames. If you have to step foundations down and down and down, you could just connect the foundations with frames and keep doing that. It's really not that bad, and it's super nice, super easy. Disconnectables, tons of different working disconnectables. You could try some other ones too. It's all subject to change anyway. Team is probably gonna maybe update something. I don't know. Either way, these are great still. I have no problem with any of these changes. These are pretty cool. Hopefully there'll be more loot in externals and not just 27 externals full of 900 frags for 47 days